The Minnesota Vikings are still active on the market and are in advanced negotiations with two big NFL stars. You will be surprised by today's news, but first, don't forget to like this video, because your like helps us reach more Minnesota Vikings fans. So subscribe now so you don't miss any more news. Now enough of the chatter, and let's get to today's news. Minnesota Vikings eyeing Jalen Ramsey? Possible trade with Dolphins has NFL backroom buzz. The saga surrounding the future of All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey seems increasingly close to a conclusion. Several NFL insiders indicate that the Miami Dolphins will likely part ways with the veteran defender this offseason, and one team that could emerge as a likely destination is the Minnesota Vikings. Fin fanatic journalist Cameron Ellis recently pointed out that respected insider Adam Schefter has been signaling that Ramsey's departure is imminent. Schefter believes the trade will happen, and when he believes it, so do I. His latest report on Ramsey convinced me. It's just a matter of when, not if, Ellis wrote. With Ramsey's departure gaining momentum behind the scenes, the question now taking over the market is, which team will be the next to count on the talent of the 30-year-old veteran cornerback? Ramsey remains productive and is still the target of interest from contenders. Even with his advancing age, Jalen Ramsey still has gas in the tank. According to the website Pro Football Focus, PFF, he has obtained the following performance grades in recent years: 2022, 86 for 2023, 66 for 2024, 76.9. Despite a slight fluctuation, the level is still high enough for ambitious franchises, like the Vikings, to seriously consider a move. That's what Marissa Myers of TWSN suggests. In her analysis, she states that the Minnesota Vikings should prioritize acquiring a CB2 to play alongside Byron Murphy Jr., and that Ramsey could be the ideal name for that role. Flores is known for running a blitz-heavy defense, and Ramsey fits perfectly into that type of scheme. He has accumulated 31 pressures and 4 sacks, which shows his ability beyond coverage, explains Myers. Vikings as a destination. Possible, but is it the ideal choice? The possibility of Ramsey reinforcing the Vikings is not unreasonable. The team has been strengthening itself to compete, and according to FanDuel, it has a +128 chance of reaching the playoffs in 2025. After a frustrating elimination in the 2024 postseason, the desire for a more solid campaign is evident. However, some argue that the most natural fit would be for Ramsey to return to the Los Angeles Rams, with whom he was a Super Bowl champion. In fact, the numbers reinforce this idea. According to FanDuel, the Rams have a 170 chance of making the playoffs, a considerably higher probability than the Dolphins and even the Vikings. If the Dolphins are indeed far from a realistic title window, keeping Ramsey could be a waste of his remaining years at the top of his game. For Miami, trading the veteran now could either yield draft capital or free up salary cap space to rebuild the roster. Bottom line, a trade to the Vikings would be surprising, but feasible. While a return to the Rams seems more natural and promising, a trade to the Minnesota Vikings has its merits. Ramsey would have an immediate leadership role on an aggressive defense under Brian Flores, and the Vikings would gain an experienced defender to help develop a still-forming secondary. The move wouldn't be the ideal scenario, but given the Vikings' current state and their ambition to turn potential into concrete results, it wouldn't be surprising if Jalen Ramsey ends up wearing the purple and gold in 2025. NFL explosion. Minnesota Vikings in networks to acquire Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills. Get ready, Vikings fans. What seemed impossible until yesterday may be about to become a reality. According to information released on the afternoon of Friday, May 17, 2025, by renowned journalist Adam Schefter from ESPN, the Minnesota Vikings are in advanced negotiations to acquire quarterback Josh Allen, current NFL MVP, in a historic trade with the Buffalo Bills. Yes, you read that right. Josh Allen, one of the league's top names, could wear purple and gold in the 2025 season. Negotiations between the two franchises are reportedly at an advanced stage, with representatives from the Vikings and Bills negotiating financial terms, draft picks, and even technical compensation. According to sources close to NFL Network, the package offered by the Vikings would include 2 first-round picks, 2026 and 2027, a second-round pick in 2026, quarterback Jaren Hall, and the willingness to absorb a significant portion of Allen's contract bonus. The information was reinforced by Ian Rappaport and columnist Dan Graziano, also from ESPN, who confirmed that the talks between the franchises have evolved rapidly in the last 48 hours. Sources close to the Minnesota Vikings management say that coach Kevin O'Connell considers Josh Allen to be the ideal fit for his offensive system and has been pressuring the board to make the necessary move. Josh Allen is coming off an absolutely dominant season. In 2024, he led the Bills to the American Conference (AFC) Finals, accumulating 4,128 passing yards, 38 touchdowns thrown, 9 rushing touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions, with a final rating of 108.5. These numbers earned him the MVP award for the season from the Associated Press, in addition to being named Offensive Player of the Year by the Pro Football Writers of America. At just 28 years old, Allen is at the peak of his career and would undoubtedly be the biggest acquisition in the recent history of the Minnesota franchise. The move is bold, but it represents a clear change in the Vikings' stance. Win now. After years of instability at the quarterback position, the franchise seems determined to bet all its chips on an established star. Allen signed a 6-year contract with the Bills in 2023, valued at $330 million with $250 million guaranteed. Even with this extension, the Bills are reportedly considering Minnesota's offer as part of a broader rebuilding plan, especially after the internal upheaval caused by the departure of offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and the retirement of key players on defense. The fans, as expected, reacted with euphoria on social media. On X, formerly Twitter, trending topics, phrases like "Skull Allen," "Vikings Super Bowl," and "Josh Allen in Minnesota" dominated the most talked about topics on Friday afternoon. Comments like, "I never imagined seeing something like this," and "Now we really have a chance to lift the trophy," show the excitement of a fan base that has dreamed of an elite quarterback for years. The possible arrival of Josh Allen also raises expectations of a total transformation in the offense. Combined with the young talent of Jordan Addison, the safety of TJ Hawkinson, and a backfield with Ty Chandler and rookie Jalen Wright, the quarterback would have more than enough weapons to lead the team to one of the most explosive attacks in the NFC. All of this guided by one of the most creative play callers in the NFL, Kevin O'Connell, who knows how to use mobility and a strong arm, precisely Allen's strengths, like few others. Experts are already classifying the possible trade as one of the most impactful of the decade. Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer wrote in his column that, if confirmed, this would be the boldest move of the Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah era, and perhaps the most transformative for the Vikings since Brett Favre's arrival in 2009. Pro Football Focus noted that Allen could transform the Vikings into immediate Super Bowl contenders. Behind the scenes, the expectation is that the deal will be finalized before the Vikings' mandatory minicamp begins on June 3rd. The team's staff is working out the financial details to ensure salary cap compatibility and is already planning the offensive adaptation to welcome an all-pro caliber quarterback. If confirmed, Josh Allen's arrival will not only be a sporting milestone, but a clear gesture from the Vikings board to their passionate fans. The time to win is now. With a young roster, a promising head coach, and a solid foundation, what was missing was a star. And now he could be about to land in Minneapolis. And if you want to follow every step of this explosive negotiation, every behind-the-scenes story, analysis, and reaction firsthand. Now is the time. Subscribe to our channel now and activate the bell. Let's follow together what could be the beginning of a new era. Skål!